Chosen ones, your enemies don't want you to see this truth unfolding, but God has spoken, and His revelation for you cannot be stopped. Right now, a divine shift is happening in your life, a moment where the chains of doubt, fear, and opposition are breaking apart. You are stepping into a season where God's light shines so brightly that no shadow can hide from it. Your enemies, those forces seen and unseen that have tried to hold you back, are trembling because they know the power God is placing in your hands. This is not a coincidence. This is a divine appointment, and you are here to claim what God has promised. Your enemies thought they could keep you in the dark. They whispered lies, planted obstacles, and tried to make you believe your purpose was too small, your dreams too unreachable. But God sees you differently. He sees the fire in your soul, the strength in your spirit, the unshakable faith that sets you apart as His chosen one. The world might call it luck, but you know it's favor. The favor of God is wrapping around you like a shield, pushing back every attack, every scheme, every force that dares to stand against His plan for your life. Your enemies can't stop this. They can try, but they will fail. Picture a storm. Dark clouds gather, winds howl, and the ground shakes beneath you. That's what your enemies wanted. A chaos so loud it drowns out God's voice. But you, chosen one, stand firm in the center of that storm. You hear His whisper above the noise. You feel His strength holding you steady. The Bible says in Psalm 46:1, God is our refuge and strength, an ever-present help in trouble. That's not just a verse, it's your reality. While others crumble, you rise. While others run, you stand. Your enemies see this, and it terrifies them because they know God's hand is upon you. This moment is about more than just surviving. It's about thriving in a way that shakes the foundations of everything your enemies thought they controlled. God is not just protecting you, He's promoting you. He's lifting you into a place where your light exposes every lie, every trap, every plan set against you. Your enemies thought they could define you by your past, by your mistakes, by the moments you felt weak. But God says otherwise. He says you are His masterpiece, created for a purpose that no force in heaven or earth can derail. Now, pause for a second. If this truth is stirring something in your spirit, I need you to take a stand. Hit that like button to declare you're claiming this promise. Subscribe to join thousands of chosen one souls walking this path together. And in the comments, type 777 to seal this moment, to tell the universe you're ready for God's revelation to unfold in your life. These actions aren't just clicks, they're a signal that you're aligning with His purpose, stepping boldly into what He's prepared for you. Your enemies don't want you to know this, but God is rewriting your story. Every chapter they tried to tear out, every page they tried to burn, God is restoring it all. Think of Joseph, sold into slavery, thrown into prison, betrayed by those closest to him. His enemies thought they had won. They thought his dreams were dead, but God had a different plan. In Genesis 50:20, Joseph says, "You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good, to accomplish what is now being done." That's your truth, too. What your enemies meant to destroy you, God is using to elevate you. This elevation isn't quiet. It's loud. It's undeniable. It's the kind of transformation that makes people stop and stare, wondering what changed in you. Your enemies see it first, the glow in your eyes, the confidence in your step, the peace that radiates from your spirit. They wanted you broken, but God made you unbreakable. They wanted you silent, but God gave you a voice. This is why they're afraid. They see the power you carry. a power not born of this world, but of the one who created it. Let's talk about that power. It's not just strength to fight, it's wisdom to see through deception. It's not just courage to stand, it's clarity to know where to step next. God is downloading divine strategies into your spirit right now. You're not just reacting to your enemy's moves, you're 10 steps ahead. Proverbs 16:9 says, "In their hearts humans plan their course, but the Lord establishes their steps." Your enemies are plotting, but God is directing. They're scheming, but He's revealing. Imagine a chessboard. Your enemies think they're masters of the game, moving pieces to trap you. But God is the grandmaster, and you're His queen, versatile, powerful, untouchable. Every move they make, He counters. Every trap they set, He turns into an opportunity. You're not just playing to survive, you're playing to win, to step into the destiny God has already written for you. Your enemies can't see the whole board, but you don't need to. You trust the one who does. This trust changes everything. It's not blind faith. It's rooted in the evidence of God's work in your life. Look back. Remember the times He pulled you through, the moments He turned impossible into possible, that job you got against all odds, that relationship that healed when it seemed broken beyond repair, that inner peace you found when the world was screaming chaos. Those weren't accidents. They were God's fingerprints, proof that He's been guiding you all along. Your enemies want you to forget those moments. They want you to doubt, to think it was all chance. But God is saying, "Look at me." He's reminding you that every victory, every breakthrough, every step forward was His doing. And if He did it before, He's doing it again, bigger, bolder, more undeniable. Your enemies can't stop what God has started. They can't block what He's releasing. The gates of heaven are swinging wide, and the blessings meant for you are pouring out. Right now, chosen one, you're standing at a threshold. On one side is the weight of your enemy's lies, fear, lack, rejection. On the other side is God's promise, abundance, purpose, victory. You don't have to fight to cross that line, you just have to walk. God has already cleared the path. Isaiah 43:19 says, "See, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs up. Do you not perceive it? That new thing is here. It's now. It's yours." Your enemies see this shift, and it's why they're desperate. They throw distractions, stir up drama, try to pull you back into old patterns, but you're not the same person you were. You're not bound by their games anymore. God has given you eyes to see their tactics, a heart to forgive their attacks, and a spirit to rise above their noise. You're not just overcoming, you're outshining. Your light is too bright for their shadows to touch. Think of David facing Goliath. The giant mocked him, the army doubted him, but David didn't need their approval. He had God's anointing. One stone, one faith, one moment of trust, and the enemy fell. Your enemies are your Goliaths, intimidating, loud, but powerless against the God who fights for you. 1 Samuel 17:47 says, "The battle is the Lord's." You don't need to swing the stone, God's already aimed it. This is your moment to claim that victory, not with anger, not with vengeance, but with the quiet confidence of someone who knows their God is bigger. Your enemies are watching, waiting for you to stumble, but you won't. You're walking in divine alignment, moving with a purpose they can't comprehend. Every step you take is a declaration that God's plan is unstoppable, and you are living proof of His power. Let's pause again. If you're feeling this truth sink deep into your bones, take a moment to act. Hit that like button to stand in agreement with God's promise. Subscribe to join thousands of chosen one souls claiming their divine destiny. And in the comments, Type 777 to proclaim that no enemy can stop what God has revealed. These aren't just gestures, they're your way of saying, I'm ready for what's next. Your enemies don't want you to know how close you are to your breakthrough. They don't want you to see the doors God is opening. Doors to provision, to healing, to purpose. But God is saying, look up. He's showing you the path forward, the one your enemies can't block. Every lie they told you is unraveling. Every chain they tried to put on you is breaking. You're not just free, you're unstoppable. Picture a river, strong and steady, carving through stone. That's you. Your enemies thought they could dam your flow, but God's power runs through you. No obstacle can hold back his current. No lie can stop his truth. The more you lean into his plan, the more you see his provision. Jobs appear, relationships mend, health returns, dreams you thought were dead come back to life, stronger than ever. Your enemies can't stand this. They wanted you stuck, small, silent. But God has called you to rise, to shine, to soar. Isaiah 60:1 says, Arise, shine, for your light has come, and the glory of the Lord rises upon you. This is your reality now. Your light isn't just glowing, it's blazing. It's lighting up every corner of your life, exposing every plan your enemies tried to hide. This light isn't just for you. It's for everyone watching, everyone doubting, everyone who thought they could keep you down. Your transformation is a testimony. Your success is a sermon. Your victory is a shout to the world that God's promises are true. Your enemies see it, and they're shaken. They thought they could write your ending, but God's holding the pen. Now, let's talk about what's coming. God isn't just breaking chains. He's building bridges. Bridges to new opportunities, new relationships, new levels of faith. Your enemies thought they could burn those bridges, but God's rebuilding them stronger than ever. You're not just stepping into abundance, you're stepping into authority. The authority to walk in his purpose, to speak his truth, to live his plan. This authority changes how you move. You don't shrink back anymore. You don't apologize for your calling. You don't dim your light to make others comfortable. You walk boldly, knowing God has gone before you. Deuteronomy 31:8 says, The Lord himself goes before you and will be with you. He will never leave you nor forsake you. Your enemies can't touch that promise. They can't undo what God has spoken. Your enemies are starting to see their plans unravel. Every lie they told is being exposed. Every trap they set is falling apart. They thought they could outsmart God's design for you, but they're learning a hard lesson. No one outsmarts the Creator. You're not just surviving their attacks, you're thriving through them. Your life is becoming a living testament to God's faithfulness. Think of Esther. She faced a king, a court, a system that could have crushed her. Her enemies plotted her people's destruction, but God gave her favor, wisdom, and courage. Esther 4:14 says, And who knows but that you have come to your royal position for such a time as this? You're in your such a time as this moment. God has positioned you to overcome, to outshine, to outlast. Your enemies don't want you to see how powerful you've become. They don't want you to know that every attack they launched only made you stronger. Every lie they spread only sharpened your truth. Every obstacle they placed only deepened your faith. You're not just standing, you're soaring, and they can't touch you at that altitude. This is why God's revelation is so dangerous to them. It's not just a message, it's a weapon of truth, of light, of purpose. It cuts through their schemes like a blade, through paper. You're carrying that weapon now, chosen one, not to destroy, but to build, not to curse, but to bless, not to hate, but to heal. Your enemies can't stop what God has revealed, and what He's revealed is you, His chosen one, His light, His victory. Right now, you're not just walking through a season, you're walking into a legacy that will outlive your enemies' plans, outshine their lies, outlast their attacks. God is building something eternal through you. Your life isn't just a story, it's a monument to His power. Your enemies see it, and they're powerless to stop it. Imagine a seed buried in the dirt. Your enemies thought they could keep it underground, hidden, forgotten, but God's hand watered it, His light warmed it, and now it's breaking through the soil. You're that seed, chosen one. You're not just growing, you're flourishing. Your roots are deep in God's truth, your branches reaching for His glory. Your enemies can't pull you out now. They can't uproot what God has planted. Psalm 1-3 says, "That person is like a tree planted by streams of water, which yields its fruit in season." This is your season. Your fruit is showing abundance, joy, purpose. Your enemies see it, and it's a reminder of their defeat. They can't stop what God has revealed, and He's revealing His masterpiece in you. This revelation isn't just about what's happening now, it's about what's coming. God is preparing you for rooms your enemies can't enter, tables they can't sit at, blessings they can't touch. You're not just stepping into victory, you're stepping into destiny. A destiny that's been written since before you were born, sealed by God's promise, and unstoppable by any force. Your enemies thought they could rewrite that destiny. They thought they could steal your future, but God's plan is unshakable. Jeremiah 29-11 says, "For I know the plans I have for you, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." That's not a maybe, it's a guarantee. Your enemies can't erase what God has written. Right now, chosen one, you're standing in a moment of divine clarity. You see the truth they tried to hide. You feel the strength they tried to steal. You know the purpose they tried to bury. God's revelation is your armor, your compass, your crown. Wear it boldly, walk in it confidently, live it unapologetically. Your enemies are watching, and they're starting to realize their time is up. They can't stop the light God has ignited in you. They can't silence the voice He's given you. They can't block the path He's cleared for you. Every step you take is a reminder that God's revelation is final, and His chosen one is unstoppable. Let's take a moment to anchor this truth. If you're ready to walk in this revelation, hit that like button to declare it. Subscribe to join thousands of chosen one souls embracing their divine calling. And in the comments, type 777 to proclaim that no enemy can stand against God's plan for you. These actions are your way of saying, "I see it, I claim it, I'm ready." Your enemies don't want you to know how close you are to everything God has promised. They don't want you to see the wealth waiting, the healing coming, the purpose unfolding. But God is saying, "Look at me." He's showing you the truth that sets you free. John 8:32 says, "You will know the truth, and the truth will set you free." That truth is yours now, and no one can take it away. Picture a sunrise. The darkness fights to hold on, but it can't stop the dawn. You're that dawn, chosen one. Your light is breaking through, scattering every shadow, exposing every lie. Your enemies see it, and they know their time is running out. They can't stop what God has revealed, and what He's revealed is His power in you. This power isn't loud or flashy. It's quiet, steady, unshakable. It's the kind of power that doesn't need to prove itself because it just island. Your enemies feel it when you walk into a room. They sense it in your peace, your confidence, your refusal to bow. They thought they could make you doubt, but God made you certain. Your certainty is your weapon. It's not about fighting battles, it's about knowing the war is already won. Romans 8:37 says, "In all these things we are more than conquerors through him who loved us." You're not just winning, you're reigning. Your enemies can't touch a king or queen crowned by God himself. This is why they're desperate. They see the crown on your head, the favor on your life, the purpose in your steps. They thought they could steal it, but God's gifts are irrevocable. What he's given you, no one can take. What he's revealed to you, no one can hide. You're walking in a truth so powerful, it dismantles every plan against you. Your enemies don't want you to see this, but God is turning their attacks into your advantage. Every lie they told is becoming your testimony. Every obstacle they set is becoming your stepping stone. Every wound they caused is becoming your wisdom. God is taking what they meant for harm and making it your strength. Think of Moses at the Red Sea. Pharaoh's army was closing in. The people were panicking, but God told Moses to stretch out his staff. The sea parted, the impossible became possible, and the enemy was defeated. Exodus 14:14 says, "The Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still." That's your instruction now, chosen one. Be still. Let God fight. Watch him part the seas in your life. Your enemies are starting to see the seas parting. They're watching doors open that they tried to lock. They're seeing blessings flow that they tried to block. They thought they could control your story. But God's the author, and he's writing a masterpiece. You're not just a character in this story, you're the hero, chosen by God, anointed for greatness. This greatness isn't about fame or fortune, it's about impact. Your life is a ripple, touching people you'll never meet, changing lives you'll never know. Your enemies can't stop that ripple. They can't silence the impact of a life lived in God's purpose. Every step you take is sending waves of hope, faith, and truth into the world. Your enemies don't want you to see how far those waves are reaching. They don't want you to know that your obedience to God is shifting atmospheres, breaking strongholds, healing hearts. But God is showing you. He's revealing the magnitude of your calling, the depth of your influence, the power of your presence. Right now, chosen one, you're not just walking, you're blazing a trail. Others will follow it. Others will find courage because of it. Others will meet God through it. Your enemies thought they could stop you, but they've only made your trail brighter. Psalm 23:5 says, "You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies." That table is set, and it's time to eat. This table isn't just for you, it's for everyone God has called you to serve. Your enemies can't sit at it. They can't touch the feast God has prepared. Abundance, joy, purpose, it's all there, and it's yours. Your enemies see it, and they know they've lost. They can't stop what God has revealed, and he's revealed a future so bright it blinds them. Imagine a fire, burning steady, unquenchable. That's you. Your enemies thought they could douse it with doubt, with fear, with lies. But God's breath is on that fire, and it's growing. It's warming hearts, lighting paths, consuming obstacles. Your enemies can't put it out. They can't even get close. This fire is your faith, your purpose, your calling. It's what makes you a chosen one. It's why your enemies are afraid. They see a flame they can't control, a light they can't dim, a truth they can't twist. God has revealed his power in you, and no force in heaven or earth can stop it. Your enemies don't want you to see this, but you're not just surviving their attacks, you're transforming through them. Every challenge has made you stronger. Every lie has made you wiser. Every setback has made you bolder. God is using it all to shape you into a vessel of His glory, a beacon of His truth. Think of Daniel in the lion's den. His enemies thought they had trapped him, but God shut the lions' mouths. Daniel 6:22 says, "My God sent His angel, and He shut the mouths of the lions." Your enemies' roars are loud, but God's angels are stronger. They're silencing every threat, guarding every step, ensuring your victory. Your enemies are starting to see their plans crumble. They thought they could bury you, but they didn't know you were a seed. They thought they could silence you, but they didn't know you carried God's voice. They thought they could stop you, but they didn't know God's hand was on you. His revelation is your shield, your sword, your crown. Right now, chosen one, you're standing in a moment of divine alignment. Everything is coming together: your faith, your purpose, your destiny. Your enemies can't disrupt this alignment. They can't undo what God has set in motion. You're not just walking toward victory, you're living it, breathing it, shining it. This is why your enemies are desperate. They see the momentum building. They feel the shift happening. They know the revelation God has given you is unstoppable. You're not just a threat to their plans, you're a promise of their defeat. God's truth in you is rewriting their narrative, exposing their lies, dismantling their schemes. Your enemies don't want you to see how close you are to everything God has promised. They don't want you to know that the wealth, the healing, the purpose you've been praying for is already on its way. But God is saying, "Look at me." He's showing you the truth that sets you free. John 16:13 says, "When He, the Spirit of truth, comes, He will guide you into all the truth." That guidance is yours now, and no one can take it away. Picture a mountain, tall and unshakable. That's you, chosen one. Your enemies thought they could climb over you, push you down, make you crumble. But God has made you a fortress. Your foundation is His truth. Your strength is His Spirit. Your victory is His promise. No storm can shake you. No lie can move you. No enemy can stop you. This mountain isn't just for you to stand on, it's for others to see. Your life is a beacon, a signal to the world that God's promises are true. Your enemies see it, and they're powerless to dim it. They can't stop what God has revealed, and He's revealed His glory in you. You're not just surviving, you're shining, thriving, winning. Your enemies don't want you to know how powerful you've become. They don't want you to see that every attack they launched has only made you stronger. Every lie they spread has only sharpened your truth. Every obstacle they placed has only deepened your faith. You're not just overcoming, you're outshining, outlasting, outliving their plans. This is your moment, chosen one. God's revelation is your weapon, your guide, your victory. Your enemies can't stop it. They can't hide it. They can't undo it. You're walking in a truth so powerful, it changes everything. Stand firm, shine bright. The gates of heaven are open, and your name is written on them. Your enemies don't want you to see the fire God has ignited in your spirit, but it's burning too brightly to be ignored. You're not just carrying a spark, you're ablaze, a force of divine energy that scatters darkness wherever you go. They thought they could smother your flame with doubt, with fear, with their endless schemes, but God's breath is on you, and no force can extinguish what He has set alight. Your presence alone is a threat to their plans, a living reminder that their power is nothing compared to His. Think of a river cutting through stone. It doesn't fight the rock, it flows, steady and relentless, carving a path where none existed. That's you, chosen one. Your enemies built walls to stop you. But God's purpose flows through you, unstoppable, reshaping everything in its path. They can't dam what God has released. They can't block the current of His plan. Every obstacle they place only makes your flow stronger, your direction clearer, your destiny brighter. Your enemies are starting to feel the weight of their own defeat. They thought they could outlast you, wear you down with time, with pressure, with lies. But God operates outside of time. His promises don't fade. His plans don't expire. His power doesn't weaken. Psalm 90:4 says, "1,000 years in your sight are like a day that has just gone by." Your enemies are fighting a battle they've already lost, because God's timeline for your victory was set before the world began. This victory isn't just personal, it's cosmic. Your life is a battlefield where heaven and earth collide, where God's truth dismantles every lie your enemies have built. They wanted you to believe you're small, insignificant, powerless. But God is showing you the truth. You're a warrior, a light, a force. Your enemies can't stand in the face of that truth. They can't compete with the one who called you his own. Picture a lighthouse standing firm against crashing waves. The storm rages, the winds scream, but the light never falters. That's you, chosen one. Your enemies thought they could drown you in chaos, but God made you a beacon. Your light cuts through their storms, guiding others to safety, showing the world what faith looks like. They can't extinguish what God has lit, and they're starting to see their efforts crumble. Your enemies don't want you to know how much your faith intimidates them. Every prayer you whisper, every step you take in trust, every moment you choose God over fear, it's a blow they can't recover from. Hebrews 11:1 says, "Faith is confidence in what we hope for and assurance about what we do not see." Your faith is a weapon sharper than any sword, stronger than any army. It's why they're scrambling, desperate to make you doubt. But doubt doesn't live in you anymore. God has replaced it with certainty, with clarity, with a vision so clear it pierces their illusions. You see their tactics for what they are: smoke and mirrors, temporary distractions. Your enemies thought they could cloud your mind, but God has given you a lens of truth. You see through their lies, past their schemes, straight to the promise He's placed before you. Let's pause for a moment. If this truth is lighting up your spirit, take a stand. Hit that like button to claim God's promise over your life. Subscribe to join thousands of chosen one souls walking in divine victory. And in the comments, type 777 to declare that no enemy can block God's revelation for you. These actions are your way of stepping into alignment, of saying, "I'm here and I'm ready." Your enemies don't want you to see the army God has placed behind you. They want you to feel alone, exposed, vulnerable. But you're not alone. Angels are guarding you. Heaven is backing you. God Himself is fighting for you. Psalm 34:7 says, "The angel of the Lord encamps around those who fear Him, and He delivers them." Your enemies can't see the forces rallying for you, but they feel the ground shaking beneath their feet. This army isn't just protection, it's empowerment. God isn't just shielding you, He's equipping you. He's giving you wisdom to outsmart their plans, strength to outlast their attacks, grace to rise above their noise. Your enemies thought they could corner you, but they didn't know you're surrounded by a power they can't touch. You're not just defended, you're destined. Imagine a fortress, walls high and unyielding. Your enemies thought they could breach it, but every stone is sealed with God's promise. Every gate is locked with His truth. They can't climb what He's built. They can't break what He's fortified. You're not just safe inside this fortress, you're reigning from it. Your enemies see your strength, and it's unraveling their confidence. Your enemies don't want you to know how much your peace disrupts them. In a world of chaos, your calm is a rebellion. In a storm of lies, your truth is a revolution. They expected you to panic, to react, to fall apart. But God has given you a peace that passes understanding, a stillness that shakes their foundations. Philippians 4:7 says, "And the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus." This peace isn't passive, it's powerful. It's not just calm, it's a declaration. Every time you choose peace over panic, faith over fear, trust over turmoil, you're dismantling their plans. Your enemies can't manipulate a heart guarded by God. They can't sway a mind anchored in His truth. Your peace is a weapon, and they're defenseless against it. Picture a sunrise breaking over a battlefield. The darkness scatters, the shadows flee, the enemy retreats. That's what your presence does, chosen one. Your enemies thought they could keep you in the dark, but God's light in you is too strong. It's not just illuminating your path, it's exposing their plans, revealing their weaknesses, declaring their defeat. Your enemies are starting to see they've miscalculated. They thought you were fragile, breakable, easy to crush. But God has made you a diamond forged under pressure, shining under scrutiny, unbreakable under attack. They can't scratch what God has perfected. They can't dim what He has polished. You're not just surviving their assaults, you're sparkling through them. This sparkle isn't just for show, it's a signal to the world that God's chosen ones are rising. A signal to your enemies that their time is up. A signal to your heart that God's promises are true. Your life is a testimony, a living proof that no force can stop what God has revealed. Your enemies see it, and they're powerless to change it. Your enemies don't want you to know how much your story inspires others. Every step you take in faith, every victory you claim in His name, is a beacon for someone else. Your journey isn't just yours. It's a map for others to follow, a light for others to see by. Your enemies thought they could silence your story, but God's amplifying it, broadcasting it, making it undeniable. Think of Ruth, a woman who lost everything, her home, her family, her security. Her enemies thought she was finished, but God saw her faithfulness. Ruth 2:12 says, "May the Lord repay you for what you have done. May you be richly rewarded by the Lord." Her story didn't just save her, it saved generations. Your story is doing the same, chosen one. Your enemies can't stop the legacy God is building through you. Your enemies are watching, and they're starting to realize they're not fighting you. They're fighting God. Every plan they make, He counters. Every lie they tell, He exposes. Every attack they launch, He turns into your advantage. They thought they could outmaneuver you, but they didn't know God was your strategist, your shield, your strength. Imagine a chess game where your enemies think they're winning, only to realize the board was never theirs. God's been moving the pieces, setting the stage, orchestrating your victory. You're not just a player in this game, you're His masterpiece, His chosen piece, His unstoppable force. Your enemies can't checkmate what God has crowned. Your enemies don't want you to see how close you are to your breakthrough. They don't want you to know that the doors God is opening are already swinging wide. Opportunities are coming, jobs, relationships, dreams you thought were lost. They thought they could steal your future, but God's handing it back, multiplied, magnified, miraculous. This breakthrough isn't just about what you gain, it's about who you become. God is shaping you into a vessel of His glory, a carrier of His truth, a reflection of His power. Your enemies see this transformation, and it's why they're desperate. They can't stop the person you're becoming, the purpose you're fulfilling, the promise you're living. Picture a phoenix rising from ashes. Your enemies thought they could burn you down, but God used the fire to refine you. You're not just reborn, you're radiant, soaring, unstoppable. Your wings are spreading, and your enemies can't clip them. They can't ground what God has lifted. They can't stop what He has revealed. Your enemies are starting to feel the weight of their own futility. They've thrown everything at you, lies, obstacles, betrayal, but you're still standing. Not because of your strength alone, but because God's hand is on you. Psalm 18:2 says, "The Lord is my rock, my fortress, and my deliverer." Your enemies can't breach what God protects. They can't destroy what He upholds. This protection isn't just a shield, it's a promise. A promise that every attack will fail, every lie will unravel, every plan against you will collapse. Your enemies thought they could write your ending, but God's the author, and He's writing a story of triumph. You're not just surviving their schemes, you're thriving through them, shining through them, winning through them. Your enemies don't want you to know how much your resilience terrifies them. Every time you get back up, every time you choose faith over fear, every time you trust God over their lies, it's a blow they can't counter. Your resilience is a mirror reflecting their defeat back at them. They see it, and they're shaken to their core. Think of Job, a man who lost everything: wealth, family, health. His enemies thought he was finished, but God restored him double. Job 42:10 says, "The Lord restored his fortunes and gave him twice as much as he had before." Your enemies think they've taken from you, but God's about to give it back bigger, better, bolder. They can't stop what He's restoring. Your enemies are starting to see their plans backfire. Every curse they spoke is turning into a blessing. Every trap they set is becoming a stepping stone. Every lie they told is exposing their weakness. God is flipping the script, turning their weapons against them, making their schemes your staircase to greatness. Imagine a battlefield where your enemies thought they had the upper hand, only to realize God was fighting for you. Every arrow they shot missed. Every trap they laid failed. Every plan they made crumbled. You're not just standing on that battlefield, you're victorious, holding the flag of God's truth, waving it for the world to see. Your enemies don't want you to know how much your presence shifts atmospheres. When you walk into a room, darkness flees. When you speak, lies unravel. When you stand, strongholds break. They thought they could silence you, but God's given you a voice that echoes through eternity. They can't stop what He's amplified. This voice isn't just for you, it's for the world. Your words, your actions, your life, they're carrying God's message to those who need it. Your enemies see this, and it's why they're desperate. They can't quiet what God has raised. They can't mute what He has amplified. You're not just speaking, you're proclaiming, declaring, reshaping reality with His truth. Your enemies are starting to realize they're not just fighting a person, they're fighting a purpose so big, so divine, so unstoppable that it shakes their foundations. They thought they could distract you, derail you, destroy you, but God's purpose in you is bigger than their plans, stronger than their schemes, eternal in its reach. Picture a tree, roots deep, branches high, standing firm through every storm. That's you, chosen one. Your enemies thought they could uproot you, but God planted you by streams of living water. Your roots are His promises, your branches, His glory. They can't shake what He's anchored. They can't stop what He's revealed. Your enemies don't want you to see how much your obedience changes everything. Every time you say yes to God, every time you trust His plan, every time you walk His path, you're rewriting their narrative. You're not just defying their expectations, you're dismantling their entire strategy. Your obedience is a weapon, and they're defenseless against it. Let's take a moment to stand in this truth. If you're feeling God's power rising in you, hit that like button to claim it. Subscribe to join thousands of chosen one souls walking in divine purpose. And in the comments, type 777 to declare that no enemy can stop God's revelation in your life. These actions are your way of saying, I'm aligned, I'm ready, I'm unstoppable. Your enemies are starting to see the tide turning. They thought they could control the narrative, but God's writing the story. They thought they could set the pace, but He's setting the rhythm. You're moving to His beat now, dancing to His song, walking in His timing. They can't keep up with what He's doing in you. Imagine a clock, ticking steadily, each second marking God's perfect plan. Your enemies thought they could stop time, freeze you in their lies, trap you in their chaos. But God's clock never stops. His timing is perfect, His plan is precise, His victory is certain. You're not just on time, you're ahead of it. Walking in the future He's already prepared. Your enemies don't want you to know how much your joy unsettles them. In a world of pain, your smile is a rebellion. In a storm of sorrow, your laughter is a revolution. They expected you to break, to crumble, to cry. But God has given you a joy that defies their darkness, a happiness that dismantles their despair. Nehemiah 8:10 says, "The joy of the Lord is your strength. That joy is your power, and they can't touch it." This joy isn't fleeting, it's eternal. It's not based on circumstances, it's rooted in God's presence. Your enemies see it, and it's why they're afraid. They can't steal what God has planted. They can't dim what He has ignited. Your joy is a fire, burning through their lies, lighting up the world with His truth. Your enemies are starting to realize they've underestimated you. They thought you were just another target, another soul to manipulate, another life to derail. But God made you a force, a fortress, a flame. You're not just standing against them, you're shining through them, thriving through them, winning through them. They can't stop what God has revealed, and He's revealed His glory in you. Picture a sunrise, not just breaking but blazing, painting the sky with colors no one can ignore. That's you, chosen one. Your enemies thought they could keep you in the dark, but God's light in you is too bright. It's not just dawning, it's dominating, illuminating every corner of your life, exposing every plan against you. Your enemies don't want you to see how much your faith moves mountains. Every prayer you pray, every step you take, every trust you place in God, it's shifting the landscape. Matthew 17:20 says, "If you have faith as small as a mustard seed, you can say to this mountain, 'Move from here to there,' and it will move." Your faith isn't small, it's mighty, and your enemies feel the ground shaking. This faith isn't just for you, it's for the world. Your belief is a beacon, a signal to others that God's promises are true. Your enemies thought they could bury your faith, but God's making it a mountain, a monument, a movement. They can't stop what He's building, and they're starting to see their plans crumble under its weight. Your enemies are watching, and they're realizing they've lost control. They thought they could dictate your path, but God's leading you. They thought they could define your worth, but He's declaring it. You're not just walking away from their lies, you're running toward His truth, sprinting toward His promise, soaring toward His purpose. Imagine a lion, bold and fearless, roaring with authority. That's you, chosen one. Your enemies thought they could cage you, silence you, tame you, but God has unleashed you, empowered you, crowned you. Your roar is His voice. Your strength is His power. Your victory is His plan. They can't stop what he has revealed, and he's revealed a lion in you. Your enemies don't want you to know how much your love disarms them. They expected hate, retaliation, bitterness, but you've chosen forgiveness, compassion, grace. Your love isn't weakness, it's warfare. It's tearing down their strongholds, breaking their chains, exposing their lies. 1 Corinthians 13:8 says, "Love never fails." Your love is your victory, and they're defenseless against it. This love isn't just for your enemies, it's for the world. It's healing hearts, mending relationships, restoring hope. Your enemies thought they could make you hate, but God's love in you is too strong. It's not just changing you, it's changing everything around you, creating ripples they can't stop, waves they can't block, a tide they can't turn back. Your enemies are starting to see their plans unravel like a thread pulled from a tapestry. Every lie they wove is coming undone. Every scheme they crafted is falling apart. They thought they could trap you in their web, but God's truth is cutting through, setting you free, making you untouchable. You're not just escaping their traps, you're dismantling them, exposing them, turning them into testimonies. Picture a warrior, armor gleaming, standing tall on a hill. That's you, chosen one. Your enemies thought they could strike you down, but God's armor is unbreakable. Ephesians 6:11 says, "Put on the full armor of God, so that you can take your stand against the devil's schemes." You're not just standing, you're shining, fighting, winning. Your enemies can't pierce what God has protected. Your enemies don't want you to know how much your purpose intimidates them. They thought they could distract you, derail you, destroy you. But God's purpose in you is unstoppable. It's not just a plan, it's a force, a fire, a future. They can't extinguish what he has ignited. They can't derail what he has directed. You're not just living, you're fulfilling, shining, becoming. This purpose isn't just for today, it's for eternity. Your enemies thought they could limit you to this moment, but God's calling you to forever. Your life is a seed planted now, growing into a legacy that will outlast their lies, outshine their schemes, outlive their plans. They can't stop what God has revealed, and he's revealed a purpose that changes everything. Your enemies are starting to feel the ground shift beneath them. They thought they could stand firm, but God's moving the earth. Every step you take in his will is an earthquake, shaking their foundations, cracking their plans, exposing their weakness. You're not just walking, you're reshaping the landscape, rewriting the story, redefining the future. Imagine a star burning bright in the night sky. That's you, chosen one. Your enemies thought they could dim your light, but God's made you a constellation, a guide, a glory. Your shine isn't just for you, it's for the world, for the lost, for the broken. They can't stop what God has revealed, and he's revealed a star in you, blazing for his glory.